And what also made me feel good were a couple of you did refer to me as your favorite instructor. Always makes me feel good. Now I would reciprocate and say that you were one of my favorite classes. That is until I brought you guys on the TSgt tour down the hall. For those of you that don't know, when I covered Block 15, when we have the time, I will take the class down the TSgt hall to show them a few of our cool toys in the advanced courses. Whatever you do, please don't ask this class to describe what I showed them. Because one thing I showed them was the triple point of water, where water can exist as a solid, liquid, and gas all at once. They'll just tell you that I showed them a glass of ice water. I also showed you the magnifier with the projector, the microscope with the projector, right? You know, we saw details of penny and all that. Mm-hmm. They'll just say I made small things appear larger. We also played with some optical illusion equipment, right, involving mirrors and a bulb and a little pig figurine. They'll just tell you how I invited them to pet my pig. And please, whatever you do, don't ask them what they actually learned when I showed them the plastic windsock and how to inflate it with one breath, because their description will probably get me fired. If you're gonna try and get me fired, you cannot be my favorite class. No, these guys were a very special class, very challenge class, if you will take that as well. Now, unfortunately, for the PML tour, one student wasn't able to join us. Sorry to say, Emerald Morgan. Emerald Morgan was on quarters during that time. It's really unfortunate. We did have a good time. You did get to see a little bit with Sardinoki. But throughout, even though that was only, what, a day and a half, your absence was felt throughout that entire time. The whole class changed, the whole dynamic changed. I walked in the morning and realized everyone was silent for once. What is wrong with you guys? They're like, Morgan's not here. And if you know this class, you know how, or if you know Emerald Morgan, you know how ironic that is, because she really doesn't say a whole lot. She's not really adding to the shenanigans from some of these guys. You know, you could have Manchester and Lay talking about how Mr. Hall reminds them of Foghorn Leghorn. But she would maybe laugh along, but then continue to study, take notes, and that was it. So, what I want to challenge you with is to always have that presence. Always be that person, that technician that people miss when you're gone. You know, people rely on to get through their day. So always be that person. Have that presence. One airman, when you always know when he's around, he's always talking, never shuts up, is Airman Leg. He's always spouting off something ridiculous, followed by his tagline of, ya boy.
It's your boy.
You would think he was getting paid every time he said it. No, Aaron Lay is actually a very intelligent student, and he proves that with his 97% average. Congratulations, nice job. However, he does have his special moments from time to time, like in Block 16, when you were discussing the procedure for a ground check, and you thought that meant inspecting the floor. You're going to make mistakes along your way, and that's where I challenge you, that no matter what mistakes you make, learn from them. Move on, and always be the best. Be the best that you can be, which you have proven to be. One airman that has had a couple moments of confusion is Airman Lovelace. While in Block 15, I was teaching them about torque, and we have a torque screwdriver crank mechanism that the screwdriver will attach to, and it actually helps you maintain alignment while you're calibrating. Airman Lovelace saw a smaller device, also with a crank, over on the next bench, and he asked, Sergeant Miller, is that a crank for smaller screwdrivers? I said, no, Airman Lovelace, that's a pencil sharpener. This class also had a debate over what quantity of an object defines a heap. What defines a heap? He answered that with his own question of, well, what quantity defines a couple? It's okay, he was able to answer it right away. He realized it. No. He does have, moments of clarity though, of intellectual thought. You have plenty of those. Some of them were a little strange though. Like when I was trying to get you guys to understand the concept of force and pressure, how it's all based on surface area. So the force felt by, say, a horse stepping on your foot versus a person in high heels stepping on your foot, that might be a little more forceful. You might feel more pressure from that. He decided to combine those two thoughts and go, well, if the horse is wearing stilettos, screwed, right? Yes, if the horse is wearing stilettos, run. No matter what, though, I challenge you never to stop asking questions. Because no matter what, you've always learned from them, right? Every question you've asked, never stop learning. Always challenge concepts and never stop asking. Now we have Aaron Powers, who's always asking questions. Has a ton of them. Always has a ton of stories to tell. Like when she was telling the story about a debate that she had with another airman over the definition of a geek versus the definition of a nerd, and which category she fell into. I actually told her she was wrong. What she is female. Because if you know the difference between the two and know which one you fall into, yeah, you're definitely female. We're all a bunch of geeks and nerds anyway. So. Now throughout her time here, throughout her time in the Air Force, she's had a couple medical issues, and that's fine. But she never stopped that, or let that stop her from completing any of her jobs, any of her requirements, and that's where I challenge you. Don't let anything stop you. You're gonna come across some hardships. That's fine. Find a way around them. Find a way to work with them, and always get the mission done, which you have proven you can do. There's one airman that has had a couple hardships throughout this course. Airman Christopher. Hey, that's quite all right, because do you remember the warrior ethos that we went over on August 15th? No, probably not. It was about a man named Charles de Bellevue. Charles de Bellevue he applied for Air Force Academy, but was not accepted. He also failed out of pilot school and sent back to navigator school. But what happened to him in the end? He was one of 3 ace pilots during the Vietnam era and retired as a colonel. So, no matter what, all of us are going to fail in some way, shape, or form along the way to reach the end of our careers. What matters is that you push through. Keep going, keep trying, and get to the end. So my challenge to you, whenever you look at yourself in your little mirror, I want you to see yourself as a success that you can be. And don't stop trying until you see yourself as that success story. Next we have our class leader, Aaron Caldwell. Look at her, always smiling, always giggling. I was even calling her Aaron Giggles for a while. She just has that personality, where no matter what's going on in your day, she'll just laugh at pretty much anything and actually brighten your day. The only downside is I don't know if my jokes are actually funny or not. I laugh anyway. Maybe they're just pity laughs. Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Lynn. No, she was actually a very excellent class leader. Definitely the most mature out of this bunch. And always helping her fellow student. And my challenge to you is to always be that kind of person. Always brighten other people's day and help them along, and just keep that smile on your face. It's awesome. Now normally I do save the class leader for last. This time I wanted to save my airman leader for last. because he actually has proven to be a great airman leader and even took the initiative to take the original notes for my speech today. He's been keeping track of everything that's been going on. So I did feel the need just to transcribe them over to my phone. Not only because, yeah, your handwriting has room for improvement, let's say. But your spelling is atrocious. So remember how I talked about the horse in stilettos? He wrote down something about horses with stale toes. What are stale toes? Also, how do you spell Louisiana? Louisiana. Yeah, you know, you can also tell he wrote these too because the last note here is Manchester is awesome. So he and Airman Lay are actually going to Nellis together. And if you've seen, yeah, oh, you know. You know. So you know I'm about to call their flight chief and about to warn him that he's getting Beavis and Butthead. So, and like Airman Lay, he's also had a moment or two of confusion. Like when he thought Sergeant Farrington was the man that came up with the Fahrenheit temperature scale. Yeah. No, you've actually been an excellent student, and I actually challenge you to always be that leader among your peers, which you definitely have proven to be. You've stepped up, you've helped people along, and that's what being a leader means. Now, all of these challenges actually go for every single one of you, so I hope you've been paying attention, because I challenge you with all of them. Right? Use those in your career, and you definitely will go far. I know you guys have a lot of amazing potential to accomplish great things throughout your lives and careers, so do it. It was actually Michael Jordan's father who used to tell him, you don't know what you can accomplish until you try. So never stop trying, never stop succeeding. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.